G'day friends, we're back with George here with another episode of A Message of Hope. Today's the 11th of February 2026. Different from the usual surroundings where I film. It's been raining a lot, so unfortunately I'm stuck in my bedroom. But still, I'd love to have a chat with you. Now if you love Jesus and you still feel broke, whether that's true or not, you are not alone. A lot of young working Christians feel like everyone else is getting ahead while they are stuck. Today, I want to give you some practical ways to save money without feeling deprived. So there's no debt reduction tricks, no buy now, pay later, and no guilt. I just want to talk about habits you can start this week. And before we can talk about money habits, I want to introduce to you one passage. Taken from the 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. It says, "But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into the world, and we cannot take anything out of the world." How true that is. Okay, it's time to give you some details. Here is the goal. Save more on purpose and still have a real enjoyable life. That's an aim you can go for. First, we'll start with your why. If your why is fussy, saving will feel like pain. However, if your why is clear, saving would feel like progress. So, let's do this. Name one goal in one line. Not 5 goals, not 10 goals, just one goal. Write it like a normal person, not like a finance book, yeah? For example, you might say, I want a $1,000 start emergency fund. Good. Perhaps you want to say, I want 1 month of expenses saved. That's a good goal. You might even think, I want to move out in 12 months from where you are. Okay. Or even, I want to replace my car with cash. Yeah. Or I want to give more without stress. Now that's a noble thinking. The point is, just pick one, and that is your target. Now make it automatic, because if it depends on motivation, it's not going to last. If you get paid by direct deposit, see if you can set up an automatic transfer on payday. The same day your paycheck hits, your savings moves. Treat it like rent. It's not what you save at the end. It is what you move at the start, from the very beginning. If you can do 10%, great. If you cannot, sure, just start small amount. Start at 1%, 3%, 5%. Something is better than nothing, right? Small and steady will beat big and random. Here's a simple baseline you can adjust. Think about it. Give, save, and live. If you're already giving consistently, well done to you. Keep that rhythm. If you do not, just start small. Even a small set amount each paycheck builds a habit. Then choose a saving percentage that's realistic right now. Only you know. Then the rest is living. I'm not talking about being perfection. It's about being consistent. That's what counts. Next, build a small buffer first. Not a huge emergency fund. Maybe just a small buffer. Make that as a goal too. Perhaps your first target is $300 to even $1,000 in a separate savings account. This is the money that keeps small surprises, like maybe your car broken down, from turning into panic. Yeah, flat tire, pharmacy prescriptions, big ones, car repairs, and bills you forgot. Oof, nasty little surprises, hey? But when you have a buffer, you stop using stress as your system. Now let's talk about cutting costs without cutting joy, right? Most people focus on tiny cuts and ignore the big stuff. The big three are housing, car, and food. If you improve any one of these, even a little, it matters more than skipping just one coffee. So let's start with the food because it's the easiest to control fast. I know I've practiced it. You do not need a perfect meal plan. You need a default plan, right? So, for instance, pick 6 to 10 cheap meals you do not hate. Write them down, rotate them, make them simple. You'll get used to it. Some of the lists that people have thought of are like eggs and toast, rice and beans with chicken. I like chicken. Pasta with vegetables, tacos at home, soup and grilled cheese, oatmeal and fruit, stir fry with whatever's on sale. Okay? Comment on the ones that you think should be added on this list. You cook once, eat twice. Okay? I do that at home. If you cook dinner, pack lunch for tomorrow at the same time. That one habit saves a lot. And I can be a testimony to say it really does make a difference to your dollar. Also, keep 2 fast backup meals at home. Nothing fancy, just something that stops you from ordering food when you are tired. Because you had a long, hard day at work. Frozen meals, sandwich stuffs, eggs, canned soup, whatever works. Whatever. Now, one of the best ways to save without feeling deprived is to have a fun money. Because I believe you've got to have fun too. Set a weekly fun cap. One number that covers your coffee, meals out, random little buys, and small treats. When it is gone, it is gone. No shame, no guilt, just a limit. Maybe you set yourself 10% of your take-home pay as your fun money. Now, this is huge because you still get to enjoy life, which is a positive, but you stop the daily drain. I think most people do not blow money in one huge moment. They start leaking money in small moments. A little bit of here, a little bit of there. Next on the list, cancel subscriptions the simple way. Open up your subscription list, streaming, music, app, storage, membership. Not sure what you've got. And here is a test. If you do not use it weekly, sure enough, you can cancel it, right? You can always add it back later anyway. Cancelling is not a breakup, it's just a decision for this season. If you only cancel once a subscription today, I believe you're already winning. So pat yourself on the back. Now do one phone call that can save you real money. Call your telco. Ask if there's a cheaper plan for your current usage. You just don't know, right? Ask about discounts. And some people I know, if they're just on Wi-Fi most of the time, so they don't even have a plan at all. It's true, some people are like that. Then do the same with your insurance once per year. You shop for rates, ask for discounts. You raise deductibles only if you have the buffer to cover it. Now do not raise a deductible if you have no savings. That's not a win. Okay. Another one might be a bit hard for you to get used to, but it comes to practice, right? You buy used things that do not need to be new. Things like furniture, kitchen items, basic tools, work gear, workout gear, and even some electronics. You've got to be careful with those, of course, the electronics. So you've got to know your stuff. You see, used items lower the cost without lowering your life. And this helps you avoid a trap of trying to look like you have more than you do. It's a trap. Also, add a 48-hour wait for non-essentials. If you see something and want it, wait 2 days. Okay? Most cravings die in 2 days anyway. If you still want it, you just got to plan for it. And I mean, planning is not deprivation. Planning is just peace activity. Now, I want you to bring the faith part in a practical way. Because I believe money is not just mass. Mass is truly spiritual, believe it or not. Not because money is evil, but because it's a strong tool. It can serve God, or unfortunately, for some people, it can quietly replace God. I pray that's not the case for you guys. So here are a few Christian practices that protect your peace and your budget. First, practice contentment as a skill. So contentment is not settling, it's refusing to be controlled by comparison. After all, comparison can be expensive. It makes you buy things you do not need. Goodness, impress people who are not paying your bills either. So before you buy, pause and ask, am I buying this because I need it or because I feel I'm behind? Next on the list, you choose gratitude before you choose checkout. You like that? You can even say a short prayer like, oh Lord, help me want what I already have and help me spend with wisdom. Yeah. So secondly, give first, even if it's small. Because giving reminds you that money is a servant, not a master. It keeps your heart open. It also keeps you from worshipping security. Oh, this reminds me of a person I know when I used to give out loans. And I read this bank statement that even despite the fact that he wasn't wealthy, he was on welfare, he still wanted to give to charity. God bless his heart. But, I worry, maybe you have to cut up some of these things because you're just borrowing money and you've got to pay it back. So, it's just sidetracking. Now, do not give in panic. Do not give to perform. Give it as a steady habit. Now, pick a set amount or percent that you can do with joy. If that amount is small right now, that's okay. Start consistent, not dramatic. Thirdly, use wise counsel for major purchases. If you're about to buy a car, sign a lease, move into a pricey apartment, or spend big money on something, flights, Disneyland, talk to one wise person first. One person, not 10, because you're going to be confused. Talk to someone who's grounded, someone who will tell you the truth. And here's a simple truth, a rule. If you feel rushed, just wait. Because pressure is not guidance. Rushing is often how we buy our way into regret. Yuck. Fourthly, set boundaries with your social spending. A lot of young adults overspend because they do not want to be the boring friend. I'm okay being a boring friend. You can be a great friend and still be wise. Of course you can. Just suggest cheaper hangouts or even invite people over. It's quite fun actually. Do a game night, go for a walk, have a coffee at home. Bring your own meal to group events. What's wrong with that? And when you need to say no, keep it simple. You don't need a long speech. Try, I can't swing by that this week, but I'd love to do something simple. I'm sure most people will respect clarity. And if someone only likes you when you spend money, surely that is not true, safe friendship, right? Now let's talk about your guardrail. So my advice, no borrowing. That means no buy now, pay later, please. No carrying a credit card balance. No borrowing from future you. This one rule will protect your progress. So here's the replacement plan. You save first, then buy. There are exceptions, right? If you cannot save for it, it is not time yet. And that is not punishment, that is just wisdom. And I'm just caring for you guys when I say this. Now I want to give you one more habit that helps you grow faster without feeling squeezed. Make a simple plan for any raise or extra income. Now when you do get a raise, do not let your lifestyle spoil it. Okay? Like, I'll splash out on a brand new suit, perhaps. A simple rule is send half of your raise to saving right now. Yeah, you heard me say that. Half of your raise. Then use the other half to improve life a little, or to give more, or to pay for something you've already planned. And if you do side work or extra shifts, assign that money to goals, not upgrades. Side money is actually powerful when it builds your future instead of funding more habits. Now let's make this easy, okay? So you do not need to do all of this today. Just pick 2 habits and start this week. Here are some good pick options. Option 1, write your one-line goal and set your payday order transfer. That is the core, the minimum. This makes saving happen. Or if you choose option 2, you build your cheap meal list and pack lunch tomorrow. That can save you money immediately. Option 3, cancel one subscription and set a weekly fund cap. That stops the leak without making life miserable. Option 4, start a $300 to $1,000 buffer and commit to the no borrowing rule. That should reduce stress pretty fast. In option 5, you can say this is the summary. Choose one social boundary and practice one clear no this month. That should protect your budget and your peace. So there you go. Simple checklist, yeah. So set one goal in one line, set an auto transfer for payday, build a small buffer, pick 6 cheap meals you'll repeat, cancel one subscription, set a weekly fund cap, hold the no borrowing line. Hey, I think you can do this because you're going to pray about it, right? You're going to ask Jesus to help you. And not because you have perfect discipline, but you can build simple systems. And you build it with God together. And remember this, your worth is not your bank balance. Never. Your life is not behind because your savings is small. You are building, you are learning, you're growing in wisdom. So once more, pick 2 habits, write them down, then set up the first one today and before you move on. Okay, if you want, tell me which 2 you are picking, because I love to hear from people and what they're up to. And most of all, keep praying for wisdom, because I'm praying for you guys. All right, thanks for listening to me. I hope you got a lot out of it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.